Hey everyone, Cerebral Tackle back with you again today. We're going to go over the world's first illegal fishing reel. Now, it's not illegal everywhere, and I'm going to show you where you can get them and how they're used. It's a wild story. So, let's jump right in. My first experience with this reel dates back to the early 80s maybe. I was a kid growing up fishing on a fishing barge, and I fished on Cerebral back in the day. Well, this one wasn't my favorite one. It was a monstrous sized barge, and in the summer, there was no airflow. Had two giant fans, but the suckers didn't work. So when the hot summer sun beat down on the roof of this thing, it was like a pressure cooker. It was miserable. The only thing more miserable was being outside in the direct sunlight. So you stayed in the pressure cooker and you just cooked while you fished. One brutal hot summer day, I'm fishing there, sweating my butt off. A dude walks in, walks past me, goes to the far back end of the barge on the inside, sets up some kind of line and steps outside. Well, within, 30 minutes to an hour, the time was passing like a fog with the heat. I hear kind of a snap noise, followed by zzz, coming from that end of the barge. The guy comes running in from outside, runs over, grabs the line, pulls it up, and he's got like a solid 3.5, 4-pound channel cat. But I didn't see a pole. So I walked up to him as an inquisitive kid and said, "Sir, what are you using? What are you fishing with?" Well, he held up one of these things, an H&H Lures Catch-O-Matic, an automatic fishing reel. A lot of you guys will know them as a yo-yo. Now see, I'd never heard of a yo-yo reel before. So he showed me a little bit about one, and it kind of goes like this. This little sucker is spring loaded, okay? It has a bit of a trigger mechanism here, a long line attached to this barrel swivel. What you do is you slide on your hook. You can weight them if you want to get down a little bit further. The line itself, once it absorbs water with the big swivel, makes it kind of heavy. But if you want to put a couple split shots on it, you can. So you pull it out to your desired length, and then if you can see, there are these notches right here in the spool. Here, let me flip it around to this side. Right there. There you go, these notches. So as you're pulling it out, what you'll do is you'll get to your desired length, and you'll let it catch in one of those notches. Now once a fish takes it, I'm going to watch out for my hands. Once a fish takes it and triggers it by pulling, reels his butt right to the top. So what this guy had done this particular day was slid on a treble hook with an old piece of catfish dough bait, the chicken liver, shrimp, night crawler flavored dough bait, one of those combos. Put it down there on the bottom. Sure as heck, this cat swam by, liked what he smelled, grabbed it, triggered it, fought that fish to the surface. It was wild. That was the day I learned about a yo-yo reel, specifically the original 1959 H&H Catch-O-Matic. Now I mentioned these reels being illegal. Not in every state, but in about a handful they are. Other states have their own caveats and special rules and regulations that govern them. And we're going to go over a few of those. But I was feeling nostalgic, so I reached out to the man himself, Bill Humphreys Sr., the owner of H&H Lure Company. We had a fantastic conversation. This guy is a wonderful gentleman with a wealth of knowledge. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what states they're legal in, which ones they're not, how to rig them, what species you can target with them. It's a lot of fun. Let's do it. First, I want to tell you, if you plan on using a yo-yo reel, check your local rules and regs. Every state's different. Like, they're illegal in California, they're illegal in Texas. I think in California, don't quote me, that you can have one like in an emergency bag, like a go bag in case of a natural disaster. I think if you have to rely on fish for food in that kind of a situation, they might be okay. I think there's some kind of rule around that. Other states like Arkansas, and I want to say Missouri, there's a limit as to how many you can put out at a single time, how many hooks you can have on them. And you have to also check them so often. Now, checking them so often, we're about to lead into why they're illegal in some states. What made a couple of states target these reels to create laws against them was the fact that people would set them, forget them, and literally never come back to them. So, when you have, 10 or 15 feet of this nice corded line out there, people will get it hung up in their lures if they're on a tree limb or on a jug line or off the end of a dock. People will get hung up as they're pitching and flipping to those particular spots. One floats off the wrong direction, you get it hung up in a trolling motor. And you can only imagine what kind of hell it is getting that line out of a trolling motor. Another thing is, it would catch a fish, reel the fish up to the surface, and the fish would die. Waste of resource. No one would ever check it. It would bring in other varmints. The other varmints would swallow the hook. It's a mess. These things ended up trashing a lot of waters. So the states that they're not illegal in usually have special regulations that govern them if they're going to allow them. So whatever you do, don't take my word for it. If you plan on using one, and I recommend that if you're in a state where they're allowed, they're a ton of fun, try them. But by all means, please check your local rules and regulations. You don't want to get crosswise with the game warden. So like I showed you, you grab it, either weight it or not, put on your favorite hook. This thing has a standard about 10 foot of line, but at the end there's a few extra wraps. And there's a couple other channels that show a decent tutorial on how you can remove the extra line that's at the very end off. That'll get you to around 12 to 15 feet. These reels are extremely popular for limb lines. Lines out where you have standing timber in the lake, and you can tie one up, put some bait on it, and then come back and check it. Now, when you buy these bad boys, they will come with these wonderful tie strings. And if you'll notice here at the top, there's that nice little hole. You tie them up to your limb, take out your length of line, set it, don't forget it, check it. Now, as far as the species you can target with one of these things, they're highly popular for catfish. Oh, catfishermen love them. Limb line, jug line, something close to the bank, they're a blast to fish with. But you can also fish for crappie, or as they say in the South, white perch, or in Louisiana, sacklet. Sorry if I offended any Cajuns. I did not mean to butcher that. I probably did. I apologize, I'm not used to it. So, crappie, catfish, bluegill, they're a ton of fun to fish with if they're legal in your state. Now, while you can't buy these things individually, they do come conveniently in a 4-pack or in a 12-pack big box. Now, if you order the 12-pack big box, you'll also get a set of hooks along with it. And I think you can even choose whether you get their catfish hooks or their white perch, crappie hooks as well. Now, one of the added extras to fishing with these bad boys at night is that reflective tape that's on both the front and the back of the reel. Trust me, you hit that thing with a flashlight and you're going to remember where you parked that bad boy, because it's going to light up the freaking sky. You'll find that the main popularity for the yo-yo reel is kind of in the southern central states. Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana down further south, and even Texas once upon a time before Texas made them illegal. Now, they're a sensitive reel. A fish grabs that, yanks, triggers that thing, it's going to yank his butt up. They're a lot of fun to fish with. So if you don't have regulations against them where you're at, grab some. I think you'll really enjoy them. I'm going to leave a link in the description box as to where you can get them. I highly recommend going through H&H. Great customer service, and they're a fun website to browse around on. They've got saltwater stuff, freshwater stuff, even like hunting decoy weights, all kinds of stuff. They're from Baton Rouge, so they've got saltwater, freshwater, and the folks know how to party. Great time, great people, you're going to get great customer service. In a pinch, if for whatever reason you can't go through them, if you have an Academy Sports and Outdoors near you, they carry a lot of H&H products too, so you might check there. Well, I appreciate all you guys showing up and sticking with me through this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a little something. The good old Catch-O-Matic original from 1959. Thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe. On the way out the door, grab you some Catch-O-Matics, go experiment with them, have fun, and keep it wet.